Good morning, small players, and happy Monday. Welcome to another episode of Pre-Market Screening, where we go over our morning gappers and we determine their levels of support and resistance, which we use to take trades all day long. For anyone that has not watched these before, the platform that I'm using here is Think or Swim by TD Ameritrade, and the scanner that is scanning for these gappers is our custom scanner. So the first stock on the scanner is MULN. I'm just going to clear all the previous drawings and chart out the levels of support and resistance. We can take some of the ones from Friday and then the ones from today. So this level of 3 to the high of the day on Friday is obviously a key level, as is this level here of 3, which was resistance in the after hour session. So the first squeeze started on break above 3, the second squeeze started on break above 3.2. Then we found our top here on 342. Just let me move this down, 342. And then once it broke above it, we had another squeeze. Then that level of 342 was tested. So even here, see this level of 3.2, we squeezed above it. We found resistance. We bounced on it a few times. Once we broke above the resistance, another squeeze, and now we've bounced on that level a few times. So as you can see, this is why it's so important to get up early and chart out those levels, because you're literally going to be using them for trades all day long. So right now we have 2 potential entries, and in trading, at any given time, your stock will be between key 2 levels, between resistance and support. Buying it in the middle makes no sense because it's not showing you direction, it's not showing you which way it wants to go, and it's a gamble, and we don't gamble, we trade probabilities. So an entry here would be bounce on this level of support of 342, which also happens to be EMA 20, or break above the high of day of 385, 358, which we know caused a squeeze every other time. So let's make those trade plans. MULN 342, where's VWAP? 334, 358. So this is the first trade plan. We have the entry on EMA 20, stop loss below VWAP, and profit targets. This would be the bounce on EMA 20 or previous high of day trade plan. The other trade plan is entry on 359. We can do 349 there as a stop. And then let's see the daily chart. What is the high here? 373. And then here, 4. Okay, and this is the second trade plan. Okay, so those are the 2 possibilities from MULN. I oftentimes say this in the chat room, the majority of trading is just waiting. So you conduct your analysis, you make your trade plan, and then you just wait for the price trigger. And if it never triggers, you don't enter. And a trigger is not just a drop to this level, right? It needs to bounce. Trigger is a bounce. A trigger is also not just the touch of this level. It needs to hold it. So it breaks above it, tests it, holds it. For breakouts, we can also just trade a breakout, not wait for a retest, but we need a confirmation. And if you guys watch these videos, you know a confirmation is increase in volume. So this would be a good confirmation for the short sellers that hit it here. So the volume of the candle should be at least twice the volume of the previous candle. And then we want to see large orders get up passing, getting filled on tape, proving the momentum. Okay, the next one is NILE. This one has no setups at the moment because it's below all indicators, But let's chart out the levels, see what's important here for maybe later in the day. So the all-time low is 105, or I guess the yearly low at least. And 76. Okay, so it already bounced on that level of 76. If it breaks above VWAP, we can trade it for a move towards 104, 107, and 11. Otherwise, it bounced here once already. Second bounce is also valid, but riskier than first bounce, and then third bounce is, third bounce is a short setup, so we don't trade those. And then we know this all-time low of 105, so we can set an alert for that as well, for a bounce, but no immediate entry on that one. The next one is BBIG. So we had this level of break above 2.7 as a squeeze. It squeezed in the institutional trading session. Retail traders can't trade before 7 a.m. Eastern time. So regardless, it triggered that squeeze, and then it seems that after it squeezed, it found a wall on 3. Once it broke above 3, it squeezed again. So then we know that bounces on 3 are valid bounce levels. And what is the high here? 307. The high here, 307. Okay, so it's building a wall on 307. So if it breaks above 307, that's a trade. What is the MA20 here? 302. Then we have 314. The same thing here. We have two potential setups. We have a break above 307 or bounce on 3. The stock is sitting in the middle of them, and either one is a trigger. Until it triggers either one, we don't enter. This one is UTME. I would trade a break above 3 on this one. For a move towards high of day. Then we have PIK. This one was treating us very nicely over the past couple of trading days, and this morning actually has a very nice chart. Let me just clear the old drawings, and a decent volume. It's forming these consistent 5-minute flag breaks. So at this point, I would wait for a new 5-minute flag break. It's forming the flag now. I'll just also mark the levels of support and resistance. So this double top, a lot of okay. So we can just, let's see, this candle still has 3.5 minutes to close. So it's beating us. It's breaking 7. Break of 7 is a valid entry also. I mean, this one we're late. But break of 7 is a valid entry also, because it's just break above a key psychological level. It could do a bounce on this EMA 20 if short sellers start attacking it there. So we can, when a stock is being crazy like this and has all this volume, the 1-minute chart gives you more entry opportunities as opposed to the 5-minute chart. But don't forget to always take a look at the 5-minute chart, and just for awareness purposes, just so you know how overextended you really are. And some entries are valid, they're just not valid for a full on trade. So for example, right now, if it bounces on 7, it's opened up enough to justify taking that entry, but because it hasn't truly had a full pullback yet, and we saw how short sellers were attacking on 7, that's just more of a scalp. So you scalp it to 710 and call it a day, and then wait for a more safe entry for a longer trade, especially in the pre-market session, because you don't have a stop loss. If it was a market session, you can do those riskier entries with a tight stop, but in the pre-market session, you don't have a stop loss, so it's better to be safer. Again, this is just, the 5-minute flag breaks are obviously just such a clear setup, so hopefully it gives one soon. But otherwise, on the 1-minute chart, even 1-minute flag breaks are valid. They're, again, just more scalps than actual trades because they can reverse against you quickly. But had these, and now it's forming one. Yeah, but definitely pick PIK would be my key watch. It was moving a lot for the past 2 days, so we know there's eyes on it. Obviously, because it's not a first day mover, there's going to be a lot of short sellers in it too, which works for us as long bias traders because they help us make these squeezes. And just as a reminder, when a stock is a second day runner or a third day runner in this case, the risk of a secondary offering is much higher. So be sure to always check whether the stock has an active shell registration for an offering. So I'm going to check the DIDI because we traded it on Friday and I see that it still has a lot of volume. So I just want to see where it's at, even though I don't see it on scanner, and it's not on scanner because it's technically not doing anything. But the high of day on Friday was 409 before this break, and it seems like when it broke below 409, short sellers really attacked it. So let's set an alert for break above 409 and make that trade plan so we're ready for it when it happens. Then we have 402, 428. That way we don't forget about it because it's not on the scanner. It's ways away now, but the original squeeze might start on break above 4. If I traded break above 4, I would just take profit before 409, and then take a new trade on break above it. Okay, perfect. This one's finally pulling back. So it's almost at that EMA 20. It's also making that 1-minute flag, which at this point, a 1-minute flag with a pullback this big is also valid, but it's almost at that EMA 20. Here it is. And that's the bounce. Then we have A, L, and A. Oh, this one's too cheap. I don't even know why I'm looking at it. Not interested. CENN. Let's see. Friday's after hours high of day was this 191. It seems to have bounced there already, so that entry's done. Now it's consolidating. It was flat top before. It's a flat top again. So on this one, break above 2 is a clear entry. Well, actually, we can't use that as a stop because the risk reward will be mismatched. So we'll have to use what is the low here? 190. Okay, so we'll do 194. 21. A lot of things on the scanner today. Just remove the ones from Friday that don't have volume. Then we have CUEN. The high of the day of today is 206. Okay, so break above that 206 is obviously key. Outside of that, there's the high here. Okay, so it bounced on the high here, 187. It bounced there twice already. If it's still fighting VWAP and if it rejects VWAP, a third test on that level is not a valid trade. So we can trade a bounce on this EMA 20. Otherwise, we can trade a break above this high of day, or even break above the 5-minute flag, because it's forming a 5-minute flag. Then we have RDBX. On this one, we can trade a break above VWAP. I'll break above 3 because it's right close to VWAP, so you don't want to trade break above VWAP and hit a wall. So let's just make that trade plan. RDBX 301. What is VWAP? 2. So I can do 2. Well, actually, this one has more room, so we can just be safer and trade 286, 31, 335, 35. Okay. No, wait a second. Then the volume's a little lower. Granted, this is not tiny volume, but we have so many to focus on this morning that I don't want to dilute my attention with these with lower volume, so I'll just focus on these for now and go from there. There's these couple ones that I didn't add, which were immediately setting up setups, but they're valid. So these are our main focus stocks for today, guys. I hope you have a great trading day, and happy trading. See you in the chat room.